Greetings, my fans and watchers. Welcome uh, to today's recap of Critical Role Campaign 3 Saga of the L Cells, Episode 54, Treacherous Toys. Let's see. After going through announcements about Miss Mid like 3-person like semi-narrative uh, show or something. I'm not, it's hard. I'm doing it on a set explanation because of course they kept it. It they deliberately kept it the the explanation weird. Oh, here it is. The semi. As you can see, I now have this fixed, so you should be able to. In case, as I go over stuff, you should be able to read it also on the wiki page. The immersive semi-improvised podcast produced by third person. Oh, which came out April 11th of this year. With a what on with whatever podcast app you can use it, whatever podcast app you do find, or you can get it on YouTube with it with being slightly animated. Then there was some things about certain items and stuff. The only thing that looked interesting to me were the Ashton Langmore exercise leggings. You can go to the Critical Role shop just to look. Okay, and then they got a new episode after the intro. We're and a brief recap of like of the battle at the Bellius Key and the resulting splitting of the party, eh, which led to the current situation for F.C.G, Chetney, Fern, and Imogen landing in the crystalline tundra, where during a battle with this, I think they described it as ice salamander. Her met Diana, a former the Chetney's ex, and another Amortard called F.R.I.D.A, which stands for free. Far-ranging integrated defense automaton. I believe that's what. I believe that's. Yep. And then the past and stuff. After a brief night, which involved after that getting more to know each other, discussion of gods and their opinions, they and a brief savaging of F.R.I.D.A by werewolf Chetney, while Capita was full. They 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 head toward the city of Uthadurn. There they start exploring the place. it should be noted that Dion and F.R.I.D.A actually live there, and trying to keep a low profile for Chetney, who they're not sure if the classmates are still looking for him. As we found out last episode, he kind of has stabbed a couple people there, including his old partner, Ultgar. More on him later. Uh, and after a brief exchange of information between them and the scribe warden of the what it's called, well, for now we'll call it the steeple. It has there's more to names than that, but they hear a loud boom and eventually find their way. I will not phrase heading to the destination in a certain way. They he they find themselves at the entrance to the what you call it, the Grand Disc. The city itself is segmented into these what they call discs. They were primarily looking at the uh, I forget. You can just watch the previous episodes to get more information. Hopefully, and after seeing that they have locked down the Grand Disc and that they've evacuated the king, queen, the, from from uh, from the now apparently there was an attack from within the citadel after shenanigans involving getting onto the other side to see what's going on. And they find the place is strewn with dead guards and stuff. And there's scrape marks everywhere. They find a single survivor who informs them that what seemed to attack was a statue who of a, who appears to be a bull. After a brief thing where after tracking it down to I believe the throne room, um, and it eventually attacking, Fern manages to Fern, who took the brunt of the attack, manages to use the dominated beast to stop the combat and manages to calm her down enough. And through use of comprehend languages, uh, uh, they determined that the creature only just woke up there. I think it was turned into. They think he was actually turned into a statue, and this creature, who identifies itself as Umadara, this is a good description of that. Uh, determined that the best thing to do is to get it out of the city so it can return to its home in the Shamvelwood Forest. Though Chetney's a bit concerned because he knows that thing is. Because he knows the forest is. in serious decline. And after managing to spread the heads of the glass blades, I think it was on the heads, to clear the path and stuff, and do everything they can to make it comfortable and presentable to, well, no one tries to attack it out of anger. They manage to get out of the city, and there. And this is everyone except for Chetney, who stays behind to do a little, to have his mischief in the throne room, specifically carving his name into one said throne, the wooden ones, and plundering a few of the jewels of the from the thrones. After discovering the secret escape route of the king queen, which I think was what he really wanted to find because he knew there had to be one, and quit blooding himself before uh, he, upon being detected leaving the thing, managed to convince them, not really much convincing needed though, that he was one of the people who wounded in the attack. And that brings us to the episode. I'm strongly thinking now from now on for recaps, for the going over the recap, just saying watch the previous recaps or the actual episodes. Upon their return, there's getting more of a hero's most of the group a hero's welcome. Let's just there's even offers of sponsorships, business first, I guess. I think they did one like crotchety old dwarf woman saying they probably brought it here in the first place. Uh, okay. After one more, after one more attempt to do a message of some sort, magical message, or the rest of Bell's Hell's not present, resulting in Imogen getting 5 points of psychic damage. Thankfully, only that it was only temporary hit points from the bagel that F.C.G made. Hmm. They eventually go looking for Chetney. Chetney is continuing his theatrics. Yes, they're basically and oh wait, I'm sorry, I didn't write it, but they're also told to upon the next day toward in the afternoon arrive. I forget what time they actually decided to go to the throne room to be acknowledged by the king and queen, or like give a specific like thank you. After which they go to Diana's house. Very common stuff. A lot of knitted work, all knitting, a lot of blanket stuff, all knitted by her. Mm-hmm. See, and I don't remember what that part's about. They explained that that when Diana first met Chetney, he was different. I think they mentioned like jokingly that it's like they met vacation Chetney or something. I think it's actually just like after what happened when he in his original stay at in Ilthaderm that changed him. Uh, and then they talk about sleeping arrangements. They were going to basically have that you could say that they have like the girls in the woman in Diana's room with her, her and the boys in Frida's room, but really it's woman's room, Aomaton's room, and Chitney Hit gets the couch. No, and stuff, which apparently is good because apparently uh, Chitney snores supposedly can break through shut, can be still be heard even when an Aomaton by an Aomaton even when they're shut down. We see Frida's room, which has a lot of sketches and stuff, including one he's working of him and Diana as a present. They mentioned how he does. They talk about how he does love her, though it's not in a romantic sense. He finds it. He shows them a glow of Alexandria, which and which he then learns of that F.C.G is a flat Exandria, possibly the only flat Exandrian. We've never heard of anyone else. Okay, I'm going and stuff. They discuss that how Frida does have dreams and stuff, or a certain dream that gets expanded on when he's in shutdown. Of I think they said like every time he gets expanded upon, every time he gets a new level in cleric. Or that's how I interpret what they were saying. And F.C.G suggests they try to attempt a dream share with Frida. Uh, and then they enter a cloudscape. The dream is a form of a cloudscape, logo stuff, and very luminous. With Frida originally appearing as incandescent, though I think he eventually starts showing his Aerodon, though it's sort of like a idea of an Aerodon. Something. Mm. And apparently, he always sees this pairs of legs but becoming up. However, when F.C.G looks, he actually sees a the form of a child, though it's very indistinct. Like there's you can't see there's but and when telling this they wake up and I think it also triggers a new memory of Frida, indicating that Frida was built to protect this boy, whoever he is. They discuss about how during the fight FCG and I don't remember him being one of the ones. I remember it being more both him and Fern, though none of them really did, how they chose not to fight the bull, but to try to communicate with it first. And the whole thing is starting to give off a very how should we say F.C.G x F.R.I.D.A. acronyms galore. Um, and it's that then that what when we see Sam's current form of the I think they say it's a jerry can that tank thing he has. Hang on, I got in I got it's like is supposedly this is picture, and based on the pictures he has, Matt d- Matt believes treachery from his own family. This is like of him, like as he describes it, having a party at Chuck E. Cheese, like at age where you really shouldn't be having Chuck E. Cheese, but he really wanted to go to Chuck E. Cheese to play the Jurassic Park arcade game. I'm not sure if I showed you this earlier, but the other last episode he also had this. Bringing us in-game X's, Travis and Sam. Both of the characters were played X's to him. Travis is Chetney is the X of Dion, and Sam was Sam's like changeling character. I don't exactly remember him. Er, goes through was the ex of her wizard in the Exandria Calamity, and there's more. Though apparently there was more to this than that. Uh, the other exes include the guy from the Factory, and possible ones Christian Lord Xandis. I think they even say old car. Unlikely, but alright. 1 second. And unfortunately, for Matt, the tank was not the only thing, as the shark bit is back. Matt, Matt really does suspect treachery from his family. Sorry, Matt. Yes, that is a picture from that. Okay, there's a picture of the dreamscape. They wake up the morning to Diana. Uh, apparently, she used a lot of some of the gold they managed to scrounge up. Her share of the gold to whip up this enormous buffet of for breakfast, like eggs, bacon, and sausage. She described it being in the zone. Apparently, for Deanna, this is how she worshipped him. She by being hospitable to other people and stuff. They talk about going where to go, like stuff they know they have to be in the throne room like later that afternoon. Um, They talk about possibly going back to the steeple to visit their some of their friends like what's that? And another thing is going is talking about how they're going to Ulfgar's chest, which Diana knows, but F.R.I.D.A does not because it now has a new name. The, Chetney gives a little bit of explanation about his backstory, where they were like he was partner, sort of like the apprentice and partner to Ulfgar, who uh, uh, Ulfgar with making wooden toys for children and stuff. And then one day, I and well, this is starting to becoming saying seeing ebb, and as they say here, a son of a bitch elf named Dr- Drikolich came to f everything up and up, which eventually resulted in stabbing Drix's leg and stabbing Olgar's hand, and which was why he had to flee Uthodurn. Uh, this Olgar's chest is now D&O's Toy Emporium. So they mentioned how Deanna knows that he Chetty has some definitely has anger issues and want to use their old safe word to know if it's getting too much of him. Which I think they originally made it named it said that it was macaroni, but then they like seconds later retconned it to say parmesan. They start despite some Jenny's brothers, they eventually do go to the Toy Emporium. They find that all the employees and stuff are waiting outside. Well, stuff stuff. The place is now expanded. It now has a 1 second. Give my back a rest. It is not. It now has a second story. And it was it's like actually an orc comes out who was like you can see soot all over him, but stuff there and said who tells him I quit. Based on the fact he's armored and stuff, they don't think he's a usual employee, but they don't know. It's then that we meet a dwarf who reminds them a lot of Santa Claus, who we now find out is none other than Ulfgard Dradigo. Dradigo. If I get pronunciations wrong, forgive me. Of course, his old partner is based off Santa. And yes, there will be plenty of jokes. But, oh, man. But and of course, we now know why Treacherous is an elf. Then we also meet Drickolix, who's this described as an elvish cross between Ichabod Crane and Willy Wonka, with a dressed up all. including the top hat. Mm, and and uh, from what they get, uh, Old God, of course, seems very like jolly person. Wonder why? Well, Dricklick seems kind of over the top and comes off. How should I describe this? Snobbish supreme, like very high opinion of himself. Eventually, they get the information of what's going on. Apparently, once after it did expand into other areas, including making a lot of magical little toy, like minor enchantments on toys and stuff there, including these cool lamps with Paimon fireballs in them. They're held basically as they use a little lantern, cool lantern stuff effect. But with enchantments, well, starting enchantments stuff going haywire and stuff. Now they don't. The enchantments that keep them stuff that keep them locked in for inventory are done, and now they're loose in the shop. Yeah, Wizzle cages. They do mention how not a lot of stuff is not made in house anymore. It's like they said outsource. You don't make it locally. Well, some is made locally, but why should we expect ourselves to just like when there's a whole, well, all a lot of people because of all exaggerate. Why should we not in stuff? Before, yeah, yeah. Uh, they basically. And Drix basically approaches him, saying saying that he'll pay him well if well that if they are if they help recapture the bugs for, like basically liberate the store from the bugs and try to keep as many alive as possible. And all he especially wants them to make sure uh, to help that, but also oh, sort of capture, if possible, his pet. Yeah, no, it's a cracklet, craskulet, which according to the which has kind of become the mascot of the show. There's even like cute cartoonish picture of like this little worm-like creature there. He also did 500 gold for this job, but due to some negotiating, and after a good, I forget if this was one of the many nat 20s of the night, but uh, they do a successful position roll, which results in Ulfgar offering them 500 gold up each to each of them for the job. And Drix, and Drix gives them the key to his bedroom so they could deal with his pet. Due to a Fern doing a successful tripping and pickpocketing of it, they also get a lot more other keys as he yeah, once he's out of sight and stuff, like Chutney's was invisible and those things, so they don't. Neither Drix nor Okar know he's there. Uh, he Chutney kind of briefly follows him and use one to his while passing Drix, who's kind of lost his like dandy stuff, like just showing grumpy. Or no, the whole thing. And Chutney sort of sneaks behind and use one of his bloodhound brands to on him, and then and quickly uh, quickly hide in a group of people. And when Drixar is around, the asshole just thinks one of the kids but like nudged him with hit with one of his like toys. Like it's like I think it was like the thing where you try to catch it in that little thing. I don't. And kind of gives a little whack. Yeah, they're going hard on it, showing just how much of an ass this this guy is. Okay, and they give Chutney the keys and stuff. Stuff. Well, first they go to break. Uh, they have the trailers for and Last Gasp, which is the dueling role playing game. Oh, they did have a small ad for the uh for the first four or My Nine Origins comics. The old Sam's ASMR bit is done. After break, they give Chetney the keys and stuff. The F.C.G does his sympathetic binding, though he can't do everyone. He said, I'm going to say for everyone except for you, and because of the way it's set up, the things are, I couldn't actually tell who didn't get the sympathetic binding. They like everyone had like a solid like laugh reaction to that, so I couldn't actually tell who it was. And they go around the shop, they see a lot of they think there's stuff. Fern, oddly enough, doesn't have the urge to steal anything. Don't know what that's about. And Chetney explains how the real thing he's angry about is sure the business was starting to have a little decline because wooden toys were getting out of fashion, but he thought they could go out with dignity, like go down with the ship instead of like that. Honestly, I would agree with just evolving as this, but I'm not going to because I'm not going to agree with Dritz or anything on this. And for instance, at one point, Fred talks about how and stuff. Well, of course, like your things just sit there and stuff, and goes just sits there. He's all been talking about how he had that wooden horse that supposedly could move by itself without from like that. Like remember he was actually giving everyone a gift and stuff, and I think Imogen's was a horse or something that could actually move. I forgot, but it didn't work. That got problem. Sometime. Then they encountered the what you call them um what are they called oh yes, the Paimon firebugs. They're like a coin size stuff. Well, they find there's just like two swarms of them. At one point, for some reason, yeah, it puts like um, what's the this is combat by the way, and yeah, had put some like Sierra and they just swarmed her and stuff. They try to use the spell snare, though in this case instead of like one of those like leg catching traps, it's like more of like a net, a stuff forms, and let's they're using all their tricks to try to catch some. Uh, at one point, the end cast blindness on them in order to calm them down. Like it said that I know I've heard what I think her sort of is okay. Everything just went dark. We need to close it. I've heard. I think what she's referring to is like certain animals you could put like a blanket over their head, and they'll actually think it's done stuff and calm down stuff. These aren't those type of creatures. uh, I won't. Another. They find another swarm, making the total three. At one point, F.C.G uses compulsion to get one swarm into one of the stairs. Uh, the Imogen's using telekinesis to hold them. At one point, they start. At some point, they start going for just not killing all of them, and Frida gets takes out all a good like entire swarm with a nice guiding bolt. And, I'm not sure if he's still doing it in his eyes or not. At one point, Chutney goes upstairs to hang on, I have stuff of the there. Those brown things there. That's indicates the swarms. He doesn't have a precise measure for these fly things. So, at one point, Chetney, who's in werewolf form, goes up there, stuff to the room and stuff. Finds two more swarms. Um, oh, that there and uh, uh, and yeah, at one point takes out another swarm with described as nat 20 inflict wounds, which, as Laura says, was something that Jester always wanted to do. Uh, I think it's described as just using some of the serum to lower them and stuff, and then when it goes, necrotic them out. Uh, uh, F.C.G summons his spiritual weapon, which came in the form of a fly swatter. It tries to push him, which they think advanced enough, and he tries to move. Then he goes, "Oh wait, I had an advantage with that," and then rolls his dice again to get a nat 20, and just like instead of like the things which have been diminished and just going through past it, not the with the nat 20, it actually goes sort of like and just catches all that and just shoves them into another snare. I'm not sure actually how many he of the those bugs survive. I think at one point, so they need want to get upstairs because they can hear Chutney upstairs, like growling stuff, and clearly something's going on. Imogen, like he uses telekinesis to assist in moving, uh, to assist Deanna in moving to the stairs. The map upstairs actually does have this like hidden section, like it's covered like over like lock room. They assume that the that is the room with the that is what's his name Drix's room with his pet uh Kraskel. Uh, Chetney at one point uses channels a shatter through turmoil his scythe, which he got from Esros. They eventually go upstairs. It's kind of hard because Chetney's sort of way of being swarmed and stuff, but eventually they get to a fight stuff. Uh, oh, at one point, F.C.G tries to use his propeller and his propeller arm. Is that it? Tries to use reverse thing to suck him in. Good stuff. Gets gets like a 7 something, so he goes and tries to reverse him to spin the opposite direction to suck, and just not meant to go that way. There's a uh, there is a brief a discussion about whether or not the spiritual weapon, since it's spectral, can go through solid objects. As Matt ends up allowing it because it because is personally I wouldn't because that's already a bit of an OP spell already. Uh, Imogen used telekinesis advantage to try to like squash like the two remaining swarms. Gets a nat 20 on one. The other one basically escapes. And F.R.I.D.A finishes off the last swarm with getting a "How do you want to do this?" with his blunderbuss. They go. I think they end up cutting into the room where the room to find this. They find what they think is a cocoon because they think they learned that the the Krask Khalid it was in its larval stage, and they think they found it cocooned. When itself, it's saying. Then a little noise. They look up and they find it's not a cocoon. It's no longer a larval. Boom. That is like it. Their stuff. Hang on, I think I have. Yeah, yeah. And that by the way, this is what they look compared to that. So this thing is huge for such a small space. So I think Jenny just really wanted to break down that door. By the way, they find Deanna actually casts like dawn in the room and the light, and that spells this abomination. And new initiatives rolled. At one point, they should have fought the bull because I think like assumption is if they had fought the bull, they actually fought that battle. Maybe they wouldn't have dealt with this. I per, I prefer letting the bull live than this thing. Uh, I was not filling out that many notes for that, so I'm going to be going to this. It has multiple different attack stuff, including like trying to skew you with a leg and stuff, a claw. Oh, that's right. And when you actually get it to bleed and stuff, damage to bleed, it also will create fire damage. So and I think it could actually extend outside of the room, like through the walls, based on like a radius and stuff. At one point, Fern gets grappled, but Frida manages to give enough trouble to drop her. Fern then casts polymer on it to turn it back into its larval stage. Fern had the most brilliant idea, though they did end up going through, I think, due to time constraints, like not knowing if the time constraints would work. There's a, honestly, it's still trying to tag it, by the way, though it just can't. Basically, they just, let's say, hide it so that when polymorph wears off uh, 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 in in our it would then be Drix's problem. I was so for this plan, but I guess technically they're being paid for this too. So they search the room and the oh yes. At this point, because of some like natural 20s rule during the fight and stuff, I was wondering if they're starting to use rigged dice. I was literally wondering that. They find out where a lot of like the initial toys are made. Maybe not the enchantments, but the toys. Apparently, in Shady Creek Run, in child sweatshops. The asshole. And even just and based on also a what appears to be a forgery of Old God's Will. Uh, it would which would leave everything to Drix upon his should he have an untimely demise. And Chutney has to basically says no points out that if they leave it may actually take care of Drix for them, but it also could tag the others and stuff, and they don't want. So a firm does a what I call the baby run, but like just tries to run to the city gates and release it before it the polymorph wears off. I think he describes as getting to the cliffs outside the city like a minute and a half before time around, and instead of like just buttoning it and throwing it off the cliff, she decides to planko planko drop it down like so it passes nothing. If you can see a problem with it, the problem with this, like I did, good for you. It only gets down so far before it gets enough damage to revert back to its adult form. and problem and then starts climbing up in rage and coming after her, and she has to do this mad dash to the gates, saying, open the gate!" Like she's legit panicked. Thankfully, since there are large monsters and stuff around and stuff. The gates are equipped with ballista, which just hammer down, leaving one dead baby. But yeah, that's one. That's the other part of the project done with. After that, old guy returns, strengths himself, and then at a point that Chitney makes himself known. He makes and Uh, he still has a scar. Shows a scar on his hands because talk. They start talking about like how telling him about the real shady things that thanks to Drix this store's now tied to, like the child labor, the stuff. How there's a good chance that Drix is planning to Drix. How it's maybe planning to off him and stuff. It says, and technically advises him just move on, just sell the shop to Drix and stuff, get, so you can get something out of it, and move and switch to a different location. Mm. But you set up shop somewhere else, and and the shop's already seems to be going down without the enchantment. Its big appeal is going down. This thing took a lot of damage and stuff. He decides to pay instead of the agreed upon price he pay. He since he knows stuff, he takes from Drix's cut 400 platinum. It's if you're curious, that means like that's like 4,000 gold. It's a little concerning when in order to divvy up, they end up with approximately 666 golds worth each from and uh, I think F.C.G says you should probably just get the sleigh and 8 goats, maybe a 9 one if it knows the way. They're very. I think they're. He says maybe he said perhaps he settled down too soon. Maybe he should go to try to give toys to kids all around Exandria. They're very trying very hard to create the Exandrian Santa here. Mm-hmm. He, it's only a matter of time, I think, before his laugh goes to stuff. They even suggest that a friend actually suggests going heading north. Sounds good, like ice across the like it's beautiful. Seeing ice across beautiful sometimes. I think ice across has giant ice worms all year long, so they're really going hard into making Santa. And after being said, well, making the uh, ma- making the leave, with I think Sam actually saying on Chetney on says that you get the joke. This once again, I really wish could have done reactions to this. I was 7 points, like like just like bawling in laughter. And after that, they got it's exact noon exactly. I think it may possibly yeah, that's right. They were talking about how they should probably have food there. So basically, they traveled the Ivory Trail to meet their appointment with with King Taviel and Queen with King Imathon Taviel and Queen Simone Frunast. Oh yes, here it is on F.R.I.D.A on Mr. and Fern. Oh, excuse me. Come on, Imogen, on F.R.I.D.A, on Mr. on Fern, on Chetney, on Dion, on myself. Well, we'll watch it burn. I, oh yes, what was it? Hmm. This? Well, and that was episode 54. All that's left is to introduce you to one of my older ones, and in honor of the more craftsman and enchantment based theme of the episode, instead of doing an old one, my definitely the best my role, Darrington's Magnificent Apron. This is like another extra thing. This apron has 16 pouches on it, each an exponential space. Each side pouch can hold one set of artisan's tools or one set of artisan supply. How much of the material you? I guess I'll leave that up to the DMs. The apron always weighs 3 pounds regardless of content. Placing an object in the apron follows the normal rules for interacting with an object. Retrieving an item from the apron requires use of an action. When you reach into the apron for a specific item, the item is always magically on top. If the apron is turned. I think I was using it. I forget. I think I was using. I think that was just a leftover from like I used like I didn't build the sketch. I kind of used like the haversack for this, and so may need to go back and edit this. Oh, as an extra dimensional space, if you put it into another one, such as a bag of holding or a portable hole or similar, it instantly destroys both items and opens a gate to the astral plane. The gate originates where the one item was placed inside the other. Any creatures within 10 feet of the gate get sucked and deposited in a random location on the astral plane. The gate then closes. The gate is one way only and can be reopened. Oh, here's my favorite feature. While wearing the apron, you have resistance to all damage types of damages, provided the damage is not from an actual attack. Like if you're instead of like say so say someone whacks you with a stick, it will not do nothing to it. It will however help you if an entire tree falls on you. This is meant to like for workplace hazards such as like accidentally hitting your hand with a hammer, some like sparks or stuff from a forge. And with that, this recap is done. I thank you for joining me. I think I'm getting better, but if you don't feel, like I think I have, feel free not to comment. This is F.R.I.D.A, and I wish thee good fortune on the quest of life.